So I'm back. My last video, what happened? Oh, my battery died. I think I knew it was dying. I just forgot. And I was like, I'll probably have this wrapped up before I get to where I'm going, but I didn't. So, anyway, once I realized it died, I just found a good stopping place and I went on about my day. And I was like, I'll get back. I'll just do it to be continued because I was already at like 30 minutes. Um, so I am still in my Bible every day. Like y'all remember at the beginning of the year when I told you God was like, don't buy no more books. You need to read your Bible. And I was like, okay, so I picked it up, put it down a couple times, and then I moved in June and I got back in it. And so I've been in it since, for real, like straight. And I am in Psalms right now. And that's where David's in there, pleading and singing and praying and just it feel like I'm reading a diary of his. I don't know why I feel like that, but I do. And I like to underline some of the things in there that he be saying that I can definitely relate to. So when I was wrapping up from my last video, I wanted to say that when I wrapped up my last video, I was saying that I got a therapist, and so I see him weekly. The first time I saw him was it's going on it's going on a week now. I saw him, and um, we have about 10 or 12 days before my next one. So my next one's coming up in a couple of days, and then after that it's gonna be every week, and we're gonna be on video. The first time I saw him, I was in there and I was a mess. Like I cried on the way over there. I cried when I got there. He started asking me a couple questions and I was crying already. um, but looking back, it was just like it needed all of that needed to come out, wherever it was coming from. It needed to come out. I don't mind crying. I will cry like from a Disney movie, like whatever. If the tears come and they want to be released, I'ma do it. I'm not holding in no tears for nobody. So I like him already. He's been in his practice for 25 or 26 years. He's a veteran as well. And he just did a lot of intake, asking me a bunch of questions. And so I look forward to seeing where we go. But I already made up my mind that I want to have a therapist like for the rest of my life. Like we don't have to meet every single week. I want to meet every week right now, but I don't want to, like, how people keep a lawyer or whatever on a retainer. I want to keep a therapist. So maybe I haven't seen you in 2 or 3 months, which I don't see myself going that long without seeing a therapist anymore in life. But I want to have it where I could call and get in too. So if that means I gotta fill my seat every 2 weeks, that's fine. I'm gonna always have things I want to talk about. I went 42 years without one, and there's a lot of things that I have to go back and dig through and unravel now. I did a lot on my own, but I reached out for help. Um, because when I started to feel that feeling of like depression and anxiety, and I was losing my hair, I wasn't sleeping through the night, and I had lost weight again. It was just like, I'm not doing this by myself this time, because I remember how I felt the first time, and I did do it alone because I didn't understand it. Now I fast forward 2 weeks from then, when I'm going on 2 weeks before, since I sat in his chair, and how I was feeling at that time. And I always listen to podcasts. I always listen to different podcasts on YouTube, and then there's some that I listen to in the app on my phone, in the podcast app, like the Apple Podcast or whatever. And a lot of stuff be like financial literacy. That's my number one. Number two is always mindset. And once I started listening to this one girl in my podcast, on her podcast, she was talking about the mindset, and how once she changed her mindset, her reality started to change. And it's crazy that it took such a simple concept, something that I already know, and I feel like I talk about all the time. It's in the Bible, you know, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, however you think about yourself, then that's what it is. Whatever you think about somebody else, that's what it is, because who can change your perspective, right? So she went deeper into the concept and was just like, you know, we spend so much time trying to change other people, trying to change our surroundings, when what we really, really need to focus on is our thought process and changing our thoughts. And I started to take like inventory on what my thoughts were for the past, I don't know, 2-3 months. And they weren't terrible, but they could be better. And some of them probably were not the best, because that's what was waking me up out of my sleep at night. That's what was having me digging in my hair to the point where I didn't stop, and it just took the hair out. That's what had me losing weight and not even think about eating, you know. So my thoughts, when I took inventory and I had to change, I started like the tape that's always playing in your mind. Your subconscious is constantly playing this tape, right? And so she had made so much sense when she was like, you need to take that tape out and put a new tape in. So I did that. What I needed to realize was that I was in this loop. Like my subconscious was playing a tape, and it was looped. So it was like on repeat, right? And so everything that I was telling myself, my subconscious was bringing it, was manifesting it. And so my reality was a sum total of my thoughts. And once I started to understand that, I've read the books of The Power of Now, the you know, understanding the subconscious, and like I know this stuff already. And to not be accountable and aware of the things that I was telling myself and that I was allowing to play in my head is crazy, because that's what painted my reality. When I really woke up, and this was after I saw my therapist, I woke up 2 days later and I was like, I have to stop getting on the phone telling my best friend that I'm not sleeping at night, because I am replaying my words are too powerful, and they're shaping my reality. So if I get on the phone and I say, girl, I only slept 2 hours last night, then I went back to sleep and I woke back up again, like, I can't get on the phone and say that, because my words are too powerful. I had to stop saying that. I had to start telling myself, we're going to sleep for 6 hours tonight. and getting up in the morning after I did sleep for 6 hours and say, oh my gosh, we slept for 6 hours last night. I'm so happy about that. Then I had to start saying, we're going to sleep for 7 hours tonight. And I mean, up until 4 days ago, it took me up until 4 days ago to get to a place where I sleep 7 hours a night now. 7 hours a night now, okay? I had to change the way I was talking, the way I was thinking. I had to take that old tape out of my head and put in a new one. So that was one example. My second example, which is real, is I had to let go of what happened that caused me to have to move back to Hawaii. I had to become more grateful in the fact that I didn't have to live on the streets. I, didn't get put out on the streets. I had somewhere to go, a nice place to go, actually. Like, I'm in Maui. I had to start telling myself that I'm grateful for this, and that, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did this and I feel like I wasted this money and how come this didn't happen and I did this, and that, right? This was the story that was playing in my head for 2 months. I would go to sleep and wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and that would start playing, and I would try to figure out what I could have done different, what could have been done better. And I had to finally stop telling that story to myself. So that was the second thing I had to do. I had to take that story and replace it with all the things that I am grateful for right here in this moment, because the past is over with. There is nothing that anybody can do about the past. And what I understand so much right now about reality, like right here in this moment, is that it's basically the sum total of some thoughts that you already had in the past. So even your reality is kind of on a time lapse. And what I mean by that is that it took me about 6 days of saying, look, I'm not going to complain about not sleeping through the night anymore. I'm just going to start telling myself that this is what we get ready to do. This is how much sleep we get, right? It took me 6 days of telling myself, even though I was still waking up 2 or 3 times a night, I kept telling myself, this is how long we sleep. And 4 days now, I've been sleeping through the night. I don't wake up in the middle of the night anymore. I wake up at 1, go back at 3, go back, wake up at 4. I don't do that anymore. And it's only been 4 days. But my reality had to catch up with my thoughts. My subconscious, your subconscious, is what creates your reality. So when you look around and you see what your world looks like, you created all of that with this. The second thing I had to stop telling myself, then I started working on smaller things like my skin, because I would get in the mirror in the morning while I'm brushing my teeth or washing my face, and I could pick out every blemish that I have on my face. And that's the first thing I would start doing. Would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I got this bump and it left this scar, and oh my God, I got another scar, and I'm breaking out, or what. I quit saying that. I wake up, I look at my skin, and I'll be like, girl, your skin is glowing. Your skin is so clear. Oh my gosh, look at your teeth. They are so white. They are so straight. Like, your hair is growing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your butt getting bigger. Like, instead of looking in the mirror like, I done lost all of this weight and this and that. Like, no, I don't talk about myself in a negative way anymore. The only way that I talk about myself now is I put myself up on this pedestal and I talk and give myself the most compliments that I've ever given myself to date. I don't say anything wrong about me. I can't pick out nothing that I don't like about myself anymore. I don't do that anymore. Because now I'm going to give my reality time to catch up with the clear skin, with the straight teeth, with the white teeth, with the butt. There's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I took those, I took, so as a man thinketh, so is he. And I had to really understand what was going on in that verse. I had to really understand what all of these authors, I've been knowing this stuff. I've said it before, but it took for me to have to get down onto a level of touching that depression again and being like, wait a minute, because we was in there for 2 years and dug ourselves out of that hole, me and God. I'm not going back over there. I'm not going back. And I can see that this is where we're headed, because I remember how it felt, and I remember really well how it felt. I'm not going back over there. I have healed too much to even feel like this is going to be comfortable enough for me to go back there. So once I listened to that podcast, I made up in my mind. I write down things all the time that have to do with the future. You know, my journal don't even consist of my reality. My journals consist of my future. My journals consist of things that have already happened on another timeline. I don't even talk about the past. Today is the past, if you really want to be for real. Anything from this moment back is the past. It's already said and done. Me sitting down talking on this camera, I already thought about this 2 days ago. I said I was going to do it today. You know, so our thoughts are so powerful. Our tongue is so powerful. You know, we speak life or death with this. And that's in the Bible too. And everybody don't read the Bible. Everybody don't believe in God. Everybody is not a Christian. Everybody not. I get that. But there's also science that backs this up too. You know, they go hand in hand, if you ask me. I feel like the things that Jesus talks about, you could go to the metaphysical world and see the laws of attraction, the laws of, you know what I'm saying? And they got laws over there for that. Scientists do. So either way you want to look at it, either you're going to go to the scripture and find it, or you're going to go to the laws of attraction and find it. But either way, it's powerful. And I used to feel like I'm trying to manifest this, and if I'm trying to manifest something, I'm just concentrating on manifesting that thing. But like, no, you're actually manifesting constantly. It don't stop. Your subconscious does not turn off. It does not go to sleep. You go to sleep. Your conscience, your body goes to sleep. Your subconscious does not go to sleep. You can reprogram your subconscious while you're sleeping. They got millions of videos on YouTube for you to do that. Should that be one of the tools you want to use? But while I'm awake, I'm doing my darndest to pay attention to what the seeds that I plant now. Like, they cannot, if we have, I don't know if it's 60,000 thoughts a day, like, they cannot be, like, they have to be, I think about my brain being this garden, like, it's pretty up there, because I planted all of these seeds, and when they bloom, it's pretty. And in order for me to do that, I really have to pay attention to what I'm planting, the thoughts that I'm having. And you know what? You don't even get to be in control of the thoughts when they come. Because sometimes a thought might come to me and I might be in an argument with somebody that I had a year ago. But you know what? I hurry up and get out of that. Because it takes about 4 minutes before your brain lock in, your subconscious lock in with that argument, and now you about to start releasing hormones. Now you about to get emotional behind it. So you cannot get engaged in some of this stuff that comes to you freely. You gotta see that and go and pivot. Like you know, I done had an argument come up or a situation come up, and next thing you know, I'm going back and forth in my mind with this situation, and I'm like, hold up. Cause I'm starting to feel away. That means my brain is starting to release fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm standing here in the grocery store shopping, and I done had a thought. So before I can let that happen, and I end up feeling away, I done got emotional. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody tell on the outside, but on the inside, I just had an argument with somebody, or I just relived a situation in the middle of the grocery store that happened 2 or 3 years ago. Because this thought that came to me, I decided to grab onto it instead of realizing, like, no, I'm not my thoughts. First of all, I am in control of whether or not I'm going to even let these thoughts take over me, right? And just because they come to me doesn't mean I gotta engage with every single one of them. Every single thought I have, I'm not gonna sit here and do all of that lying on this channel. Talk about everything, every thought I have is positive. No, but every thought that I have, I try my best not to engage with it. If it's not, I'ma look at that thought when it comes to me, when that old situation arises, and be like, yeah, but I'm so grateful for I'm so grateful for fresh air and running water. I'm so grateful it's sunny outside. Oh my gosh, it's like I'm not, like, we finna turn. I don't even see you. I see you, but I don't. I'm not doing that. I have done that. I've been there. I've been that person. Like, I wish I would have said that. Like, no, like, it doesn't do anything for me. The past is the past. And all of that residual stuff that be coming up is probably something that you just need to deal with, and, you know what I'm saying, put it back to bed. You know, just to pivot for a moment, when you forgive people, it's not necessarily always depending on what it was you had to forgive for. It ain't always a one and done. Like, sometimes you forgive and then it comes back up to you. You gotta forgive again and again and again, until when it come up, it don't make you feel no way. Until when it comes up, you can bless that person, you could bless that situation right then and there and move on with life. Like, you don't always let that come up and trigger you into some type of emotion, knowing that that shit happened years ago, months ago, you know. Especially if you already forgave, I had to understand and learn. Like, God had to show me, like, just because you forgave for a situation, sometimes that stuff be hard. Like, you forgave in that moment and you good, and then you go on with life, and then something happened and you triggered, and it just come up. You could just be having the time of your life, and something come up in your mind, and you know what I'm saying, and you let it take you back over here, and you feeling the way. You gotta forgive again in that moment. That person or that situation don't have to know that you dealing with that again, but you gotta forgive again in that moment, and you just gotta keep on forgiving for the same thing over and over. I don't think people talk about that enough, that, you know, you might have to forgive something, the same situation over again, and that's okay. But that's how you get over it and you heal. But it ain't no one and done thing. And I used to have that when I had to learn what forgiveness looked like and how to do it. I thought you just did it once. Nah, you gotta do that a couple times in some situations. So anyway, I just felt like I needed to say that. But once I got on top of my thoughts, and that's where I am right now, all the way down to, you know, it's small, all the way down to like I look at my fingernails and be like, oh my god, my fingernail. Like, no, we're not doing it no more. I don't have nothing bad to say about myself. I don't care if somebody say something bad about me, because that don't have nothing to do with me, about how they feel about me. That's really not even my business. All I know is how I feel about myself. You know, I was listening to the girl, like she was going deep. Like she was even talking about how if you got some colleagues at work, co-workers at work who you don't like or they don't like you, how you can be in your mind like everybody likes me. You know, I don't have a problem with nobody. Everybody, you know, like you just change it from I got all these haters and everybody, you know, I can't trust nobody and people just this, or that. Like, if you say that and you believe that, then the universe has to create situations and bring them to you into your reality to prove that you are right. Because the subconscious does not know right from wrong. All it knows is whatever you say, your wish is my command. If you feel like everybody be lying and cheating and you can't trust this and that, then the subconscious says, okay, roger that. I'm about to bring you a whole bunch of situations where you gonna see that people can't be trusted and that everybody is a liar. If you think everybody hating on you, if you think everybody jealous of you, if you think people can't, you know, if you think your boyfriend this, if you think all men are that, if you think women ain't this and your girlfriend is that and your wife, whatever you want to think, if you think that you yourself can't do this, can't do that, you don't understand how come every time you turn around, that's what the subconscious is going to create for you. That's what it's going to create for you. Do you know that that's what a self-fulfilling prophecy is? That's you believing something and it has to come true. Like, it has to come true. You know, I believe all the way down to the point where if you keep accusing your significant other of being with somebody, they gonna eventually go be with somebody. Like, it has to come true. If you think it and you believe it, that is manifesting. That's all it is. You have to think the thought and you gotta believe that it's gonna come true. That's manifesting. When that woman touched the hem of Jesus' garment, we don't know her name. Her name ain't even important, and she made it in the Bible. Like, we don't even know her name. She touched the hem of her garment. Of his garment, excuse me. She touched the hem. She didn't grab him. But she had so much faith that if I just touch something that's on him, that's attached to him, I will be healed. And Jesus told her, like, you have so much faith that you touched my garment and believed that you was healed. You're healed. He was like, you're healed because you had faith. She had the thought first. Somebody told her that they healed me. Jesus healed me. And after 14 years of her bleeding out everywhere, she came out and she was like, all I'm going to do is touch him. I don't have to talk to him. He don't got to even know that it was me who did it. But I believe that if I touch him, I'm going to be healed. And what she do? She got through that crowd and reached out and grabbed the hem of his garment. The hem of it, y'all. And believed by faith that she was healed. And he said he felt his power leave and was in the crowd like, who touched me? They like, Jesus, it's so many people out here. We don't know who touched you. Look at all these people. He like, no, somebody touched me. This a different touch. I ain't, the power went out of me. Somebody touched me. Who was it? Who touched me? She had that much faith. And it started with a thought. And he was like, you know what? Your faith healed you. You can't tell me that the body, the God that is in us, that created the whole universe, that used the same elements that he put in the stars and in the galaxy inside of us, the same elements is found in the sky, is found in us. And then he say he's in us. You cannot tell me that we don't have the power to create our own reality. We do it, whether we want to take responsibility for it or not. He gave us free will. If you want to think yourself into a depression, he probably hate that for you. And he ain't going to leave you or forsake you. But baby, listen, if you want to be depressed, you can. You can. If you want to perpetuate that cycle and keep waking up and turning that tape on every day, you can. You can. I did it. While I was going to church, while I was reading books, while I was praying. I still was waking up, turning that tape on. Until 2 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, like, I know I changed. I know that I came from that place, because when it was time, when it was feeling like I was going to go back, I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no, I'm not going back over there. I done enough that month to lose weight and not be sleeping. Like, my favorite thing to do, the 3 or 4 people that I got in my life, especially my daughters, I'm gonna ask them how they slept. Did you sleep good last night? Because the sleep is like the foundation for your next day. They have done way too many studies on people not getting enough sleep and what it does to the body and what the stress does to the body. I started losing sleep and I was like, oh no. Even when I was depressed the first time, I didn't lose no sleep. So I was like, wait a minute. This is different. I'm not doing this again. So not only did I reach out, like, I'm already praying, I'm already talking to God, I'm already walking with him through my Bible, but I'm still slipping into a depression because I have free will and I get to create the reality that I want to create because God gave me that. We are creators of our own reality. We are. So with that being said, I came out here on a mini version of depression and / anxiety. I got into a therapy. I started working and I was just like, you know what? I'm changing this channel in my mind. I took that old tape out. I put a new tape in. And every time I wake up, I'm just like, you know what? Everything works out for me. Everything works out for me. That's in the Bible. Everything works out for me. Like, I'm not worried about nothing. I don't care what nothing looks like. The faith that I have in my God, I have seen him do things in my life from nothing, and gave me back. Like, I don't have nothing to complain about. I'm not messed up. I don't feel no way about what happened back then. This was me a week ago. So I get up in the morning and I'm just like, everything is working out for my good. The universe is rigged in my favor. I don't worry about nothing. I look forward to the people and the opportunities that's coming into my reality. Like, I don't have no worries because God already gone before me. He was in this day before I even knew if I was gonna wake up or not. Like, he already he's written everything out for me. He knew me before I was formed in my mother's womb. Like, I don't have to worry about nothing. He said, if worrying don't add no days to your life, then what is you doing it for? I'm not worried about anything. So I laid them burdens down. You know, I was like, okay, I'm in Maui now. I'm here. There's nothing I can do about the past. Here we are. What are we going to do right here in this moment, right? Nashville is like, what's for me is for me and won't pass me by. Like, these are the things that I had to tell myself, and I put on repeat in my head now, and I replaced it with the why me and why this happened and how come. Like, we don't worry about that anymore. It's November now. Today's November 2nd, actually. You know, so once that tape started playing, I was like, okay, I feel good. I'm sleeping. I'm not stressed. I'm not worried. I done started gaining weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the gym. Like, I'm outside skating in the morning at 7:00 in the morning. I get up and go for a walk before I gotta go to work. Like, I'm chilling. Like, you know, life is good, and it always has been. I just needed to look at it different. You know, you change your perspective, you change your life. And I have that written down somewhere in one of my journals. And it's like, I changed my perspective, I changed my outlook, and I changed my life. My life this month is totally different than it was 2 months ago. Because my mind changed. So now all I gotta do is wait for my reality to catch up. Because I told you, like, your reality is a time lapse of some thoughts that you already had previously. And so once you start to change your mind, and then you looking at your 3D, like your reality, like, well, I don't think like that no more. It's been 2 weeks. Well, you gotta let this catch up now, because you stayed in that other thought process for so long that you need to give your 3D reality a chance to catch up with your thought process, and it will. You want me to tell you how I know? Because I got a text message from the same lady who opened up the school that I was going to work at. She texted me 2 days ago, and I was at work, and I saw her name come up on my phone. I told her I moved back out here. You know, we talked about it or whatever. Like I said, I had to just get to a point where I was like, you know, what's for me is for me, and it won't pass me by. And that's for a man, that's for a job, that's for whatever. Like, I'm not hung up on no situation or no human beings. Whatever's for me is for me, you know? So I just let it go. I got a text message from her like, January, I will be able to pay you full time, and I will want to know, would you still be interested in coming and being a part of the team? But when I got that text message, it just solidified a lot of things with me as far as my walk with God, because he just, like, you know, I feel good and I'm smiling, and I would be still even if I didn't get that text message from her. But to have saved up the money, got there and been like, okay, y'all, I'm out of here. I done healed. I've done this. I'm about to go get my big girl job and do this and that. And then to get there and then have to come back and feel humiliated and, you know, questioning what happened, and God was like, did I do something wrong? And I thought you said, and this and that. And then to be like, okay, God, I don't care. Like, I trust you anyway. And then he bring that thing back around, like, here. I can't even explain how much I love him, regardless if he would have gave it back to me or not. Like, I still trust God and I still love him. But the fact that he did do it, I'm like, dog, like, I just want to hug you. I can't never hug him, you know, because I would just hug him. Like, I would just not let him go. It couldn't have been me, the woman with the woman that touched the hem of his garment. Because, baby, I would have wrapped my arms around his legs, his at the ankle, and he probably would have tripped a little bit and looked down at me and been like, "Girl, get what?" Yeah, cause you know, she just touched his garment because she said, you know, I'm dirty, and I didn't want to get you dirty. You know what I'm saying? I ain't supposed to even really be out here like that, Jesus. But you know, I was trying to do what I was trying to do, and you know, I heard that you healed some other people, so here I am. But yeah, I probably would have grabbed the bottom of his ankle or just tried to, I don't know. She better than me. I'd have risked it all. And she did risk it all because they was ready to stone her because, baby, why is you out here touching Jesus with your dirty self? But anyway, y'all, that was a vulnerable place to be in, and it took me a while to get back on this camera, but I was like, you know what? I'm not here to just share the ups and be sharing when I'm on the mountaintop. Like, it's people who in the valley, and that's when you the closest to God anyways, when you in the valley. I didn't make that up. I got that out that book. And when you in the valley, like, between the enemy and your thoughts, which I feel like the enemy is the inner me. The enemy is the inner me. This what's between here. I don't need no outside enemy. I could be my own. I have been my own. If the truth be told, I ain't got no fingers to point, baby. I'm very self-aware. I have been my own enemy. And I know what it is to get down that far and have to hear that tape playing over and over. But I just want to challenge somebody, like, listen to that tape that you got playing, man. About your situation, about yourself. Like, how do you talk to yourself? We be wanting people to respect us and be faithful and loyal and all of these other nice words to us, but are we even that to ourselves? And so if the reality of it is that everybody around you is a mirror, everybody in your reality is showing you who you are. So if you got people around you who you can't trust, it's because they got to show you that you don't trust yourself. You know, I love to stand. I will die on that hill. It ain't that we can't trust nobody. It's that we don't trust ourselves 10 times out of 10. But we like to deflect, or I'm sorry, we like to project and put that on other people. So instead of being self-aware, we say, I don't trust nobody. It's just because you don't trust yourself. If everybody is you pushed out, then pay attention to what they showing you. Pay attention to what you saying about people and see if you can really take stock. Excuse me, take inventory on yourself, because in reality, the universe is trying to show you. And that's all. That's all. Like, I am happy that we got this update out the way. I'm here for a couple more weeks. I got a new goal set. I'm moving. I don't know what day. I don't know. I don't know the logistics of anything yet. I haven't started looking at apartments or anything. I know it's November and January is right around the corner. But I was going to leave here anyway in January, regardless if I was going back to that job or not. I was going to give myself until the end of this year, and then I was gone anyway. So to know that that's where I'm going, I'm happy, because that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. We have had so many conversations about that, working there and me helping mold future estheticians and just us the things we're gonna do and how we're gonna give back to the community. And she's very much a God-fearing woman and led by the Spirit. And I'm happy that I get to work alongside somebody who that go in the trenches with me. Like I like, look, I done fasted for her for different things, and you know what I'm saying, and she don't even know. So it's like, listen, I want that to be my coworker. I want her. But at the end of the day, she was like, Sandra, I asked God, like, please don't let me lose Sandra. I really want her on my team. She's the only person that so yeah. I feel good about it. I don't feel like I gotta go in no deep dive and praying and Lord, if it's for me. Like, no, I already asked God. I said, God, if it's for me, I can't lose it. And he brought it back around without me even thinking about it. I done went on with my life, enjoying my time back out here in Hawaii. I am not cold. You see, I got on a tank every day. It's 90 degrees. Like, the whales are back. I'm about to go whale watching again. Like, what used to be on my bucket list and turned into a pastime for me. I'm not tripping about being in Maui. I ain't tripping at all. I'm gonna enjoy the time that I'm here, and when it's time for me to go, I'm gone. But like, the fact that he brought that back around, like, all right, this is what we doing. So I love y'all, man, and I appreciate if you came back and this ain't your first time watching this. My coming to my channel, I appreciate you coming back every time. But I just want, like I say all the time, like, God has done so much in me, and he's doing so much in me. Like, I got so many things in store. I wish I could share them right now, but I'm gonna wait and just drop them on you, and then, you know what I'm saying, we go from there. So I'm out.